Hello guys, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another video, and today we're going to look at Phillip Cocu being sacked by Derby County and the 5 names in the frame to replace him. So let's get into it. So yeah, we're going to run through today the top 5 names in the betting for this Derby job. A great job it is in the Championship, and at the end of the video I'm going to give my wild card pick. But let's have a quick review of Phillip Cocu and why Derby have sacked him. Now, it's quite obvious, isn't it? They're bottom of the Championship. They've only picked up 6 points from their 11 games so far. It's been really poor from a Derby team featuring the likes of Martin Waghorn, Wayne Rooney, Tom Lawrence. It's a decent Championship squad, isn't it? But it's not been good at all this season for the Rams. They finished just 6 points off the playoffs last season, finishing in 10th in the Championship, and they were expected to be contending in that sort of area again, pushing even higher, perhaps under Cocu, but it's been an absolute shambles. Just 1 win, I think it is, on the board so far, and that's the reason he's been given the boot, and he leaves with a 32% win ratio, which is below average, isn't it? He needs to be pushing for 40% or even higher if he is to get promoted from the Championship. But it won't be Cocu who leads Derby to the Premier League. They're now looking for another manager. It only feels like yesterday that Frank Lampard left the club, obviously taking the Chelsea job, but now Cocu's gone as well, so they're looking for another big name. So let's take a look at some of the big names in the market at the moment. And there's only one place we can start with this Derby job. Current favourite and in pole position to get the job is none other than England's top ever goal scorer, Wayne Rooney. Of course, he's playing for the club now, also helping out with the coaching staff, and it looks like he's going to head this sort of interim coaching team to see them over the next couple of games, also with the help of the likes of Liam Rosenior and Shay Given. So they'll form sort of an interim coaching team for now. A good couple of results over the next couple of games could see Rooney get the Derby job. Of course, it was England teammate Frank Lampard who last held the post before Cocu, so potentially he could follow in the footsteps. But the big elephant in the room with Derby County at the moment is this potential takeover that's coming. Looks like it's about to be completed by the end of November, and it would make sense to me for Rooney maybe to manage the team for a couple of games till the new boys come in from Abu Dhabi with their money and pick their man for the job, which I don't think will be Rooney, unfortunately. But he's in a very good position. He'll get the chance here for a couple of games, we hope, with Given, with Rosenior. See what he can do, you know, as a player manager at Derby. I presume he won't be taking himself out of the team, and he's got a chance here to get a job in the Championship, and it's a big job at that. And before we get into the next name on the list, another England international, former England international, can I please ask you to like and subscribe to the channel if you enjoy Football League content. There's loads more to come from the Championship, League One and League Two. We're going to try and hit 1,000 subscribers before the end of the year. It's a tough challenge, so get subscribed. But the next name on this list is none other than John Terry, the Aston Villa assistant manager. He's been there under Dean Smith since 2018, and you've got to say he's done a pretty good job with that Villa side. Obviously, Dean Smith's an excellent manager, but he's been supported all the way by John Terry. Obviously, they got promoted from the Championship a couple of years ago. Then they stayed up in the Premier League last year by the skin of their teeth, and look how they've started this season. It's been absolutely sensational. Now battling towards the top 6 places in the Premier League. They're on fire. They've got a really exciting squad, some good young players coming through, and Terry's been part of that success. He's played a key role. He's got his coaching badges. He's ready for a first team job, it looks like. And could he follow his old mate Frank Lampard into this Derby job? We saw what Lampard did with Derby. He used it as almost his first step into football, but I'm not sure this is quite the same scenario, because obviously Lampard went to Chelsea after that, a big job, but he did well at Derby. He got them into the playoffs, but they had a pretty solid footing for him to come into in the first place. Meanwhile, Terry, if you look at this as his first managerial job, if he takes it, he'll be taking over a club bottom of the Championship, and let's make no bones about this, Derby are in a relegation battle as things stand. If it doesn't go well for him, if he doesn't take flight straight away and pull them away from danger, he could be in a serious relegation scrap. And for his first job in charge with no managerial experience, it's a really tough one for Terry to take on. So if I was Terry, I think I'd leave this job be until another Championship club, perhaps on a more stable footing than Derby are right now, take the job. However, as I've mentioned, the big names are coming in with the takeover, and would they want a big name like John Terry or Wayne Rooney to be their manager, even if they lack the managerial experience of some of the other candidates? I can see it happening, you know. It would be his first job. It's different circumstances for Frank Lampard, but John Terry, perhaps he'd like a go at this challenge. And the next name on the list is none other than the big one, Rafa Benitez. He's currently managing in China with Dalian Yifang. Sorry, that sounded a bit like Donald Trump then. Dalian Yifang he's in charge of. He's done all right there. They finished 12th, I think, of 16th last season, so not amazing, in a bit of a relegation battle, but he's getting paid a hefty wage. Now, he joined in July 2019 2019 on a 2.5-year deal. So he's got about a year of that left as we speak now. But can Derby be the team to tempt him back into the Championship and away from another big job? Obviously with the takeover, they'd hopefully be able to give him a decent wage in the Championship. And he has managed in the Championship before, of course, with that season at Newcastle where he stayed with them and got them back to the Premier League at the first time of asking. Now I'm not sure Derby will be challenging for promotion this season, but if they get Benitez in, the next couple of years could be really exciting for them. And there's one thing in their favour here. As I mentioned, he's managed the team that finished 12th this season in the Chinese Super League, and that league came to an end just this week. They're now in the final stages of that division, but it's come to an end. The regular season has ended, so he's just got one full season left on his contract. It's the perfect time to make a move for a manager. It's the summer in China. They're not playing any games, so essentially could be looking elsewhere during this down period, and perhaps Derby County and a big wage there, and an exciting takeover, an exciting project. This man, he is the big name for this Abu Dhabi takeover, isn't he? It's so exciting for Derby fans to have Rafa Benitez linked with their club, but will he join a club bottom of the Championship? I'm not so sure, but for this takeover, for the men in charge, surely Benitez is the man they want. He's won nearly everything. He's managed some of the biggest clubs in the world, you know, Liverpool, Real Madrid, Inter Milan. Could Derby County be next? It would be absolutely spectacular to have Benitez back in the Championship. Next on the list is Eddie Howe, the former Bournemouth manager who left this summer after relegation from the Premier League, and it was a long spell at Bournemouth, wasn't it, for him? 8 years he took them from League 2 to the Premier League over 2 spells, with a little spell at Burnley in between that. But what a manager. He proved himself to be one of the hottest properties in England, perhaps the next England manager, Eddie Howe, but I think he will want another challenge before he takes an England job, perhaps succeeding Gareth Southgate. I think we're a long way off from that yet, but Eddie Howe, I think he is probably waiting for a Premier League job. I think he's done enough in his career to not have to go to Derby. I don't want to sound disrespectful, but they're another Championship club, and I just can't see him going to the Championship and managing Derby. I mean, he would have done that with Bournemouth surely and stayed there and given that a crack. I mean, I think there's going to be a few Premier League clubs changing manager. I'm not saying these clubs are going to change manager, but if you look at the likes of a Crystal Palace or a Newcastle, perhaps even a West Ham, all performing quite well at the moment actually, but if they sack their manager, you think Eddie Howe will be top of the list for one of those lower mid-table Premier League clubs. So I'm not sure Derby quite have the draw, even with this project, even with the takeover. I'm still not sure they have the draw to bring Eddie Howe to the club. I think he'll be getting a Premier League job this season. The fifth manager on the list before we come to my wild card is none other than Paul Cook, the out of work manager now since leaving Wigan in the summer. He's got Championship experience, of course. At this level, he led Wigan to a 13th place finish where many people thought they would struggle, you know, but he did absolutely amazing. They played some amazing football in 2020. They were one of the in-form teams in the league as he took them away from relegation, and then it was snatched away from them by those dodgy owners and that points deduction which saw them relegated. It was really unfortunate, but Cook proved himself to be a fantastic manager at this level. In the Championship, he can show he got the job done, and he also did it with Portsmouth as well in the division below. He's got good experience in the Football League, and Derby, if they're just looking for a safe pair of hands to steer them away from danger this season, they can't go far wrong than Paul Cook. He's a really good manager. I hope he gets another job at Championship level. I'm not sure it'll be with Derby County. I think there's a few more, you know, bigger names. Perhaps with this takeover coming in, that probably works against him. They might go for a bigger name or an ex-player such as Rooney or Terry. But Paul Cook for me is a fantastic manager. I just don't think he's a glamorous enough name to get this Derby County job on this occasion, but I hope to see him back in the Championship soon. And we finish with my wild card pick, and it is none other than Slavica Jokanovic. Yes, he is managing in Qatar at the moment, getting paid a pretty hefty wage, and it's kind of similar to Rafa Benitez. They're earning good money abroad. Will they be tempted to come back to England and earn a decent amount? I think with this takeover, Derby will have some financial might, and Jokanovic could certainly be tempted by another Championship project. Now, he's got Watford promoted from the Championship. He's got Fulham promoted from the Championship. Importantly, he's played good football and he's loved by the fans. I think Derby would really take to him. I think he'd be an excellent fit, and he's not really making any serious waves out in Qatar. So could Championship side Derby, I know they're bottom at the moment, but he could build them up. He could start them climbing the table, and perhaps this season or next season, they'd really be contenders for promotion. I think if they got Jokanovic in, it would certainly happen. I think he'd have them in the Premier League with this backing from the takeover that's expected to happen by the end of the month. I think Derby could be a Premier League side under Slavica Jokanovic in the next 3 years. So Jokanovic is my wildcard pick. I think out of the 5 names I've mentioned, I'd probably have to go with Rafa Benitez. I don't think Rooney's quite ready. I think the same with Terry. I don't think it's the right circumstances for him. Paul Cook would be a safe pair of hands, but for me, it's got to be Benitez or a wildcard pick, Slavisa Jokanovic. Please let me know in the comments down below who you think should be the next Derby County manager, and remember to like and subscribe. But that is all from me for this one, guys. I will see you on the next one.